Hello, everyone. I am Krandall Brantley for Buckeyes Daily, and the Buckeyes are number one for the third straight week in the college football playoff rankings, to no surprise. Let's check out some potential playoff matchups for the quarterfinals. Number 8 is Oregon. Number 9 is Oklahoma, which would mean the playoffs started now. OSU play the winner of this matchup in the quarterfinals. So either a rematch of last year's Rose Bowl, OSU Oregon, or OSU, your lick back on Oklahoma for what they did in 2017, Baker Mayfield, planting the flag, and all of that. Um, but it would be in these four sites. One of these four sites it would happen: Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Orange Bowl, or Cotton Bowl. Now OSU cannot decide where they play in the quarterfinals. The number one seed, the four teams of the buys, can't decide. It's the college football selection committee. They are responsible for assigning the highest ranked teams in the quarterfinal sites. And the factors for bowl assignments is the committee considers historic bowl relationships as well as seeding. So, based off historic, traditional bowl games, it would be Big Ten, Pac-12, I'm assuming, and so OSU would probably play in the Rose Bowl against Oregon. That's cool for tradition, but it's also basically a home field advantage for Oregon, who's only a state away and could flood the Rose Bowl stadium. Now, what if it's Oklahoma and the committee chooses the Sugar Bowl or the Cotton Bowl? That's Cotton Bowl is in Dallas. The Sugar Bowl is in New Orleans. That would mean Oklahoma fans could drive to the game. OSU fans have to travel, the hotel, and the whole gambit. And major advantage for Oklahoma. And other scenario here. What if Miami moves up in the rankings and they go get the 8th seed? And the committee ends up giving gives Ohio State the Orange Bowl for the number one seed, and they happen to play Miami, which is a home game for Miami. Like, all this is in place. I don't see why the teams of the buys can't choose to avoid these scenarios and just have to hope the playoff committee just doesn't screw them up and give the other team a home game. For instance, they couldn't predict that Texas would have a home game for the Cotton Bowl last year. That was an 8 seed versus a 5 seed. But that was clearly home field advantage for Texas. Their fans could just drive a few hours to the game. OSU fans were in weather delays or couldn't even make the game. So it was clearly advantage for Texas in that game. But these are all just scenarios that could be avoided if they allow a playoff site in Indy whenever they expand the playoff. That's speaking of expanding the playoff. So, the SEC proposed a 16-team playoff model with spots for the 5 highest-ranked conference champs and 5 highest-ranked conference champs and 11 at-large bids. And every conference likes this model and Notre Dame, except the Big Ten. The Big Ten isn't saying we like the model because we want to keep it at 12 teams and not just dilute the product and make it have more teams. Nope. They're saying let's have 24 teams. So the Big Ten's proposal is it would give each Power 4 conference 4 automatic qualifiers. That's right. Every Power 4 conference gets 4 teams in the playoff. So we're already at 16 for automatic qualifiers. And then they want 2 highest ranked conference champs for the non-Power 4 teams. Not too bad. Might give the MAC champ a chance. I don't mind that, but let's not have it 24 teams. But then you have 6 at-large selections after all that to get you 24 teams. If a 2014 playoff happens, that just ruins the sport. It ruins college football. Like, what is the point, unless you're like a diehard, of to watch games until like November? And the only good thing about this Big Ten proposal is that they're not on board with SEC's proposal, which means the playoff will get expanded to 16 teams by the deadline next month. That's the only good thing about this whole model. But I will say that SEC's plan is way better than the Big Ten's. Look, the college football making it 24 teams would make college football like college basketball, where most fans aren't even watching until January. And then it's already the longest off season. You go from some point in January until like late August or first week in September. But the good part of that is that once it turns Labor Day weekend, the time period, that you're getting games that count. Now with 24 teams, it wouldn't matter until like November. A team could go 0-3 and be like, oh, we're good. We're going to turn up and be ready to go and be a top four team in our conference, which could either be like barely ranked like 24th or not ranked at all, and still make the playoff. Our boy made a good point today. He said there's not even 12 teams that are legit championship contenders, that have a legit chance to win it all. We're going to add more teams? 24 teams? No, it's not. And not to mention the risk of injury. Like, there was a poll with the NFL fans, and 60% of fans said they want more games, and at the risk of more injuries. And so, let's say if you're a fan of a program that's top 5, top 10 every year, do you want your team playing extra games and have more risk of your star quarterback, star running back, star wide receiver getting hurt and out for the season against a team that's barely ranked because they're the 4th ranked best team in the worst conference, but you could have made the playoff in a 12-team playoff, not even played that team or had that risk of injury? If you are a fan of like a top 4 team every year and you're just hoping like, hey, let's just stay healthy and get to the playoff, we got to play extra games against a 24 seed. And we don't need more of these matchups. And the only value to expanding the playoff is, look, more TV deal money. But is that better and better than like ruining the product? I don't think so. Like, really, people will not watch until November because the games wouldn't really count until then. And so you go from the BCS era, the 14 playoff, and where every week counts, and then you go to 12 teams where it's still a fantastic sport, to 16, then 24, and then 5 years later it'll be like March Madness with like 50 teams. Come on. Let's just stick to 12, and if that don't work, 14, add in a couple automatic qualifiers from conference champs, non-Power 4. I wouldn't mind that, but not 24 teams. Come on, y'all. All right. 4-star offensive tackle Brody McNeil commits to Ohio State, the 2027 class. Now, Brody chose Ohio State over Tennessee, North Carolina, and he's a hometown of Richmond, Virginia. He chose him over Virginia as well. McNeil visited OSU 4 times. Early November for the Texas game, and also twice in the offseason, so spring and summer. And he is, for Rivals.com, he's a top 5 interior O lineman and 125th prospect overall for 2027. And he's a third O lineman commit for OSU in this cycle. Rutgers preview. OSU will play Rutgers for the big noon kickoff game. That'll be at noon Eastern. And no one is viewing this game as a scare. It will be senior day for Ohio State. It's the last home game of the season, unless hopefully it's the last home game of the season for Ohio State, and they get a bye for the playoff. But just giving some context on Rutgers. Rutgers is 5-5 overall, 2-5 in conference play. Their head coach is former OSU defensive coordinator Greg Schiano. He's at Rutgers. He was at Rutgers in the 2000s as well on the Ray Rice teams back in 06 time period. And they're coming off a bye. Their last win 2 weeks ago was against Maryland. And Rutgers ranks 8th in the country in time of possession. OSU in the same category ranks at 6th. So they both average time of possession of 33 minutes per game. And a big part of that for Rutgers is their running back, Antoine Raymond. He already has 1,000 yards for the season, and he came off 240-yard performance against Maryland. They also have QB Athan Cadillac Manis. That's a great name, by the way. But he ranks top 7 in the Big Ten QBR, and that's ahead of Bryce Underwood, Dylan Raiola, and Aiden Childs. And so this could be possibly a test for OSU's defense. Can you off the field like you usually do? Get a bunch of 3 and outs and set your offense up to control the game like they usually do. And I fully expect Ohio State to be able to go off the field like they want to and limit Rutgers' time of possession and limit Raymond on the ground game. And Ryan Day, he didn't have much of an update on the status of Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith for this game, besides saying they're working hard to get back on the field. So, my opinion, let them both participate in warm-ups on Saturday at max. You could let them suit up, put the pads on, just in case Rutgers makes it a game and like really need to win in the fourth quarter. I don't see that happening. Let them put the pads on, but that's it. Do not let them play at all in this game. Let them get ready for the game. Like you could let them warm up, let them show the fans and everyone like, hey, we're good. We're being cautious. Or you could just don't let them play at all. Don't show any film, nothing. Let Michigan think that these guys are banged up and won't be able to play or be limited, and let them ball out in the game. But I'm still confident that both of those guys will be ready to go for the game. And for this game, look, let the O-line gel in the run blocking. I know Rutgers is not very well at run defense, so it should be another big game on the ground. And maybe let Bo Jackson get less reps. Maybe he's banged up. Let him be 100% for Michigan. Let Isaiah West get some more carries. Let James Peoples hurdle more guys. And let the wide receiver core gel more. Julian Sayin. Let Quincy Porter, Marlon Graham, Johnny Thurman get touchdowns. If there's a senior wide receiver at tight end, let them get a touchdown for senior day. Let these guys get more reps and be comfortable. And so when it's time to go 5 wide later on in the season, you already know you're confident in Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, and Ennis. But if you have these guys more comfortable, enjoying saying more comfortable with them, scary hours for the rest of college football. So at that point, I don't see this being much of a matchup. I think OSU will be ready to go, and they're already thinking about Michigan. They're already thinking about that. They know. I know they're going to be focused and they'll be locked in for this game. But as soon as that clock hits 0, they know what time it is. They know they're going to Ann Arbor, getting their lick back, and it'll be Michigan week very soon. All right. Go Bucks.